Hey everybody, I'm Tim and it's time to pick the perfect lighter. And you're watching Cigars Daily. Get more out of this in all our videos now when you watch them on cigarsdailyplus.com, because we're always working to make it better on Cigars Daily Plus. And in this video, I'm enjoying the Aging Room Quattro Connecticut, because we just got a bunch of aging room into the Cigars Daily HQ. We're adding new brands like crazy, and I couldn't contain my excitement about this Connecticut, which I haven't even lit up yet, because we're about to find the perfect lighter. You won't spend too long in the wonderful world of cigars before you discover one integral part of this, a necessity, a prerequisite, if you will, and that is fire. You've got to have a good solid flame in order to get an even light on any cigar and enjoy even one puff off the dang things. The only question that comes down for cigar smokers is, when is a lighter a good quality machine that will take good care of you, and when is it a cheap piece of crap? And that's what you see out there all too often these days. Cheap, low-end lighters that don't really get the job done. What you want is a workhorse that will be reliable and get a good flame and always give you an even light. And so today I wanted to take you through some essentials of picking out the perfect lighter and even show you a couple that I got a great deal on, which means you guys get a great deal on them, because that's sort of the way Cigars Daily works. And so I want to take you guys through this. There's like different parts of a lighter that to me are critical and other things that are a matter of choice. And so let me take you through them one by one. I'll show you a couple of lighters along the way. And of course, I'm going to ask you to drop a comment down below with the brand of torch or the actual torch that you trust the most. Or are you one of these freakish weirdos that just does matches only because it's the only pure way to light a cigar? Definitely speak up in the comments. I just did a video on different lighting methods and actually found that matches are a pretty reliable way to get a very pure flavor with like no additives to it. But that doesn't change the fact that most of the cigar smoking world still trusts a good old torch. And the first thing you got to determine when you're looking for a good one for yourself is, how many torch flames do you want? And this feels like a question you really only have to answer if you live in America, where we have the motto that more is better or bigger is better. And so you can pick one flame, the dual flame, a 3-flame torch. I've even seen them with as much as 6 flames, and I don't know why you would need that unless you were trying to torch a cat whole, and some people probably would. But when it comes to lighting up a good old-fashioned cigar, 1, 2, or 3 flames should do the trick, and each of these sort of has its own advantages. A single flame gives you a nice defined point that's perfect for touching up a cigar around the edges. A 2-flame sort of broadens that lighting area that allows you to toast the foot a little bit easier. But I like this. This is the Jetline Hurricane 2, and I have no clue how they pick the names for these. Do they have just like a bowl of weird ass like lighter names that they pull one out when they come up with a new one? Anyway, this one's got 3 torches on it. The thing lights up with a really wide lighting base that actually tapers to a point that makes this thing great for lighting a broad area or touching up your cigar as you're smoking it. I like it anytime a lighter can give you like more than one facet to that flame, but certainly it's a flame that's got to be reliable. But once it's reliable, you got to sort of know where that thing's going to spit out and how far it'll go. And when it comes to getting your flames to spit out at just the right distance, you've got to have a way to dial it in. And this is a great thing about torch lighters. Most of them on the bottom have a little dial that will allow you to turn the flame up or down. And some of these lighters spit out flame like over a foot or something ridiculous like that. But if you're a more reasonable person, you'll want to dial it back to something that, I don't know, is safe to use indoors. And that's why with the Hurricane 2 and most other torch lighters out there, there will be a way to dial it in, whether you're using your fingernail or a coin. Some of them have a great big dial on the bottom you can just twist, but that's all about getting that flame just right. If you have too big of a flame on your lighter, you can really toast out a cigar and ruin the whole experience. If the flame is too small, then you'll find yourself cramming the lighter against the foot of the cigar. So getting it dialed in to just where you want it is critical. You got to make sure the perfect lighter has the ability to do that. Now, as you get your lighter dialed in and the flame is just exactly the right length and doesn't burn your cigars too much, you'll undoubtedly eventually realize that you have to refill these dang things because they use butane fuel, which is the best and sort of purest fuel for lighting your cigars. And in order to know how much of this stuff is in your lighter, you need a really nice big visible fuel window. This is how you see how much fuel is in your lighter. It's like having a gas gauge on your car, and it amazes me how many lighters get put out today that don't have this feature at all. You just sort of gas them up and then go for it. It's like driving a 1994 Toyota Camry that doesn't have a working gas gauge in it. You don't really get past a gas station without wondering, do I have enough gas in this to get to the next gas station? So for me, the perfect lighter is always going to have that, and that's why I'm holding the Jetline Mongoose here. Once again, really creepy, weird name that maybe they pulled out of a bowl of weird names, but this thing's got a massively huge fuel window that allows you to see exactly how much fuel is in there at any time, and the Hurricane 2 also has this on the front of it, a way to look inside and see exactly where your fuel is at. This will keep you from running out of fuel at the most precious time, which will inevitably be when you're trying to light your next cigar. And I've found that these two lighters right here, I think the Hurricane 2 lights between 8 and 10 cigars before you have to refill the thing, and the Mongoose does between 10 and 12 cigars. So you're going to get a different number of lights out of different lighters because all of them have different sized fuel tanks. So you got to kind of weigh out how many cigars do you want to light before refilling, before you can figure out which torch is perfect for you. But when it comes to these two right here, at the very least, I can see how much fuel I have, so I'll never run out. And a lighter is supposed to light, and it doesn't really advertise that it does anything else other than light your cigar. It's written in the name lighter or torch, whatever you want to call it. But to have the absolute perfect torch, in my mind, it's got to have the whole package. It's got to do everything you need it to do, and when you get out with a really good cigar and you've got a good way to light it but not a great way to cut it, that can be problematic. Maybe you forgot your cutter at home. Maybe you let your friend use it and he slobbered all over his cigar before using your cutter. Whatever it is, a lot of really good cutters out there have built-in punches or built-in cutters. The Mongoose here has a built-in cutter on the bottom, and by the way, so does the Hurricane 2 as well. It's one thing that sent me over the moon about both of these lighters. They got a punch in the bottom so that when you're out lighting your cigar, if you don't happen to have your favorite cutter on you, you've at least got a way to get yourself going. That is so important, and for me, it gives a feeling of comfort that if I have the right lighter in my pocket, I don't need to worry about anything else. And these lighters, for what it's worth, have really great punches that leave a nice big ring gauge for your punch and let you enjoy the entire cigar. And then, of course, you got to think about how often that thing is going to light up. The perfect lighter should light up every dang time. And I'm amazed at this right here. This is a $50 lighter. I think we sell these things like half off or something like that. But this thing lights every single time I pull the trigger. And that's amazing because I've had some $300 lighters that don't light but every other time I light the thing up. And so to me, this is an impressive piece of machinery right here. Something I've always been able to rely on Jetline for, putting out a lighter that lights reliably every time I pull the trigger. Look at that. And then the last piece, the one thing that to me is a massive deal for the feel of a lighter. Of course, it has to do the job. And if it does the job, maybe it's the perfect lighter for you. But for me, there's another piece to it, and that is the action of the lighter. How good and solid does the trigger pull feel? That was one thing that sent me over the moon about the Hurricane 2. This thing's got a nice long trigger pull, and then once it ignites, it sounds like a rocket taking off. And it just gives this really nice, good feel, like pulling the trigger on a gun that's been dialed in perfectly. That's something that I just can't get enough of. And for me, again, there's a feeling that comes with a lighter too. It's got to function and do the job, but it's also got to feel right in your hand. There are so many options out there for torches for you to take home and carry around with you and use on all your cigars that in order for you to pick one and in order for it to be perfect, it should ring all the bells. And so for me, these lighters, the Hurricane 2 and the Mongoose from Jetline, they both ring all of those bells. It's one of the reasons I enjoy these and brought a boatload of them in on Cigars Daily. And like like I already mentioned, we're going to put these up for like half off on the website because we want you guys to have the perfect kind of lighter in your life. And if you're looking for a good one to spend good hard-earned money on, you should also save on it. In my mind, the perfect lighter, it allows you to keep some extra cash in your wallet. So you guys can check those out on cigarsdaily.com, but I'll ask you again, what is your favorite lighter? Which is the one that just rocked your world, that you love so much you take it everywhere with you? I hope to catch up with you guys about that more, and check this video out on cigarsdailyplus.com because we're always working to make it better on Cigars Daily Plus. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Tim signing off for Cigars Daily, and I will see you in the comments.